I'd like to call the Town of Shingatig Public Safety Committee meeting together. Ask Mike to go ahead and put us on the calendar to discuss security cameras around town and also the LPR reader for the police station. So Robbie, I'm going to ask you what it is you would like to see as far as the LPR reader and where at and price. And
yes. Mr. Talbert and myself, last February, we attended a little presentation by the company Flock Safety down at Melfa. Sheriff's office invited us down, as well as some citizen groups also. I think there were some representatives there from Captain's Cove and different neighborhoods around the shore. Basically, what this is that we are interested in for the police department is an LPR, it's a license plate reader camera, and basically what it does, it takes a picture of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, and the license plate. Personally, I think it would be a good idea to probably have two at the bridge, one facing each way. That way, if we were to have any type of crime here on the island, major crime, anything like that, we would be able to go back and search, because this records, this system records each vehicle that comes on and goes off the island. If we don't need it after a certain amount of time, just delete it. But say, for instance, if we had a robbery at one of the stores on here, we knew the date, the time, and somebody said it was a white Chevrolet pickup truck. They've even got it, this company has even got it broken down where if it has a sticker on the back window, you can program what you have into this system, and it'll go back and search, and every white pickup truck that went by within the time frame that we're searching, that had a sticker on the back window, it'll give us that information. So it's a very good tool to have.
do they, say for instance, there is a Amber Alert somewhere, and the authorities put out the description of the car and the license plate number.
Yes.
If that car would happen to come across and come in our jurisdiction, does this system alert you to this car's being looked for?
I believe it would, because basically in that situation, whoever issued that Amber Alert would enter it into the nationwide NCIC system, and anything that comes through like that, the stolen vehicle, it'll alert us. Basically, my plans right now is to have the computer or the computer software placed in the dispatch, and it'll pop up an alert. If a stolen car were to come on the island that's already in NCIC, it would pop up an alert and alert us that, hey, this car is either come on or going off the island.
This system would do that.
Yes.
Good.
And so, I'm pretty confident that, if the vehicle has been entered in the NCIC like that on an Amber Alert, then yes, it would alert us that that vehicle is here or has come on the island.
Is everything that you're talking about covered in that $2,500 per year per camera price?
Yes. Yes, that's including the software, everything. The only thing they've got, if you look on the bottom there, it's a one-time implementation fee of $250 per camera. But that's just a one-time fee.
They come and set it up.
They set it up. The only thing we have to provide is the electric part.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to see us send this to council for approval to get these done.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the recording capability, what type of cycle? I mean, how much?
I'm not 100% sure. I can find that, Jay. Do you remember if they said how long it saved for?
I do not. I have to check through.
I mean, I would think it would be like at least 90 days or something. That it's. I
I know
believe it's probably depending on the hard drive.
Yeah. I
you
know a lot of it's 30 days, that's the only reason I was inquiring. You might have something that goes, you know, like an Amber Alert or such, that might, you know, you might be 32 days before.
Right.
If somebody from Montana comes here that's, you
Exactly.
know, and that type of thing, so that's the reason why I was
do
asking
believe
that.
they cautioned us that if you were looking for something specific, to do not delay, go ahead and apply what you're looking for so they can start looking right away for it, rather than waiting several days or a week because it could be overwritten by that time, if I'm not mistaken.
That was my question, because, you know, some of this, is out of our control as far as when somebody comes here from out of state or whatever and has got a, you know, everybody looking for him, and then it might be 4 or 5 weeks, or, you know, who knows?
This is all cloud-based, we don't have any equipment here,
Okay,
it's all stored in the cloud.
so, that's a good thing as well.
And Robbie, you're talking about one going and coming right there at the bridge, right?
That's what I would recommend. Yeah, that way we've got coverage, you know, for both ways. And one of the things I remember was, back before I came back, was the pony that, you know, was lost down there. And, you know, this would have been great for that.
No, it wouldn't have worked. But that's a story for another day.
Yes.
They did tell us that when they set up community, generally when they're looking where to put them, they look at how many routes there are in and out of town, and some localities will put them on just the major routes in and out of town. Some of them, if there's 25 ways in and out of town, they hit them all. But they generally try to put them on the outskirts of town where you should come in and leave.
Okay.
And as you can see, you know, if you read into it, a lot of them, the first one says about a lot of gunshots and stuff. You know, they try to, I think that's what the sheriff's office is doing. You know, they've picked some of their higher crime areas
Mm-hmm.
that I believe the sheriff told me they were getting 8 or 9 for the county.
Cool.
You know, that they can put them in the, you know, strategically placed areas. So, yeah.
So they work, I'm sure they work both ways, but
No.
they don't work for oncoming.
We couldn't get one and have it oncoming and ongoing. Each camera takes a picture that's focused on the rear of the vehicle. So if we had one facing Maddox,
So it's pretty similar to like the Bay Bridge Tunnel, if you go through without paying or whatever, and it's got your license plate number, or, you
Yes.
know, that type of stuff, so
yeah,
it's on the same.
yes, sir.
type of
Yeah,
system.
I mean, it's, I'm not sure if they've got this actual company clock, but it's basically the same thing that they have. It's a lot of license plate reader companies, you know, they have these cameras now, and, you know, the software also. You know, but sheriff's office did some checking into it, you know, and looking, and I think this was the better deal that, you know, that they had found at the time.
So it's only 2 of us, Mike. Do you need it in the form of a motion, or can we just send it on to council?
Well, and so what would the motion be?
Send this to council for approval to get started.
You go ahead and get on it?
Mm.
Yep. Yep, if you want to make a motion, that's that.
All right, I motion.
So,
We're all in favor?
all right.
We're all in favor.
All right.
Guess the only thing you got is make
Yeah.
a motion and second.
So the other thing I want to ask about is, you had mentioned about getting cameras in the parks, and I guess replacing cameras at the harbor and all
Yeah.
these places.
What we would like to do, and Ron and I talked about this in the EOC on Monday, because it would have been very helpful on Monday, is to get one unified system for the entire town. And we certainly would want to cover all the town's locations, including the municipal center here, the civic center across the way, public works in the back, police station. We have some inside and out, depending on how much public area we got. We cover our parks, Robert Reed Memorial Park, the town dock, harbor, maybe Leonard Park and the dog park at some point, certainly Brianna's Park. But we want to cover those sites so that we can certainly
about also having one just say like at the chamber facing Maddox Boulevard? You know,
We
facing,
could do something like that, I mean, we do own the property, but
Yeah.
Brian and I were discussing on Monday that it would be very helpful, because we can come in here and on one unified system, we're gonna log into one site, and we'll have every camera that we have available on that site, and can switch back and forth between them. Having some at the town dock looking both ways, up channel, down channel, having some at the harbor looking at it, looking at the inlet, maybe looking easterly toward the beach, looking westerly towards, you know, the causeway from that vantage point, would be very helpful too. Keep an eye on weather, we can even keep an eye on rising tides and how much of the road is covering if we set them up correctly. So that, and that, there's a multitude of things that they would be helpful in doing, and the technology certainly exists now where you can get very good ID cameras that can turn a very good picture. And we have high-speed internet now, just about everywhere that we want to put these. I think I've told everybody that when it came time for new being to re-up on our tower, that we talked them into furnishing high-speed internet at the park, in Robert Reed, Memorial Park in Robert Reed. And they've done that, so the service is there, and it's waiting for us to hook up to it. So what I would like to do is get several prices on a unified, coordinated camera system, and go ahead and put that in the capital improvement plan and buy that system after we get quotes.
okay.
And have that installed. It could be installed in a matter of 30 days probably, if they can get the cameras. I know some of our guys telling us that getting the cameras is the worst thing right now. Of course, they have a chip in them, and there's issues with chips right now. But the IP cameras that I've seen come out in the last few years are spectacular in the quality of video that they provide.
So do you think it would take a couple months to get prices and figures and all that together?
I think I could definitely get two prices in a couple months.
Okay.
But I you know, that we certainly want to deal with folks local if we can. And put it before, I can bring it back and put it before this committee, because I would think it would fall under a public safety expenditure. Put it before this committee and see if they would approve one. I know that the school system has over 250 cameras, and theirs is all on one system. You can access it from a laptop. In fact, Robbie and I were just talking about it. Our SROs have access to the school's cameras on their laptop, and they're very, very helpful.
Okay. So for right now, we'll send the LPR to council, and because that seems like that might be a little bit simpler thing to get done than the other. Because I'd like to see this one done as soon as possible, and then get those figures back, get it to council maybe after first of the year or something, and
Sure. I think that's a reasonable length of time.
okay, and hopefully get those done and in by the spring.
Yeah. You were talking about the school system has over 200. Are any of those inside?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Majority of them are.
I think, the majority of them are. There's a couple schools that have in excess of 50 cameras.
So we probably want to look for one inside of the Amron building as well, I'm
We
thinking.
can certainly do that, and
Yeah.
inside this building in the public areas anyhow. You certainly can't put them in restrooms, but you can focus them on the door of a restroom, you know,
Right.
so that sometimes that helps narrow down perpetrators. But, you know, it's not just something being stolen or somebody being hurt.
Right.
There are a ton of useful things, everyday ordinary things that you can do. I've seen the time when I've been sitting at my desk and pull up a certain camera because I can't remember how many parking spaces are in a parking lot or something like that, and you can rattle them off, or before you go out and do an inspection, you can pull up the camera and say, okay, I'm going to need this, this, and this, and this tool, because it gives you a lot picture. They're very helpful.
With our excess that we had voted to do cameras with, didn't we?
I believe so.
So the LPR come out of that, right?
I certainly
And
can.
then
I think so.
These, hopefully the ones you're gonna be able to come up with a price.
We can stay within that budget, yes.
Right, okay, all right.
I believe the budget I had in there was 80,000.
I think so, yeah. We'll see what we can come up with then.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, do you have anything else you wanna add?
The only thing that I would add on that, and Mike probably already knows it, with those cameras, make sure
Mhm.
to download. I mean, if we needed, something, so, that would be one of the things that I would recommend whoever, the company coming in, that they were easy to download in case we would have to for any type of criminal activity or anything like that.
And that's where the whole unified system comes in. If all the cameras come back to one software, one piece of software, or accessible from one device, then you can make recordings and save files easily from one program. You don't have to know one program. We don't have this system at the harbor and another system down at this park and another system at this building. They're all
Right.
Kind of like it is now,
Right.
one here, one at the harbor.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Different systems.
Yeah, that's very important.
You can also control access to it, and levels of access would be something we want, so that some folks have access to everything, some folks may just need access to a certain site.
Well, that was another question I was gonna ask. I mean, obviously Robbie would have it over there at the police station. Would you have it in your office, or would it be somewhere back there somewhere, or?
Most of the systems I've seen now, you can access them from any internet connection. You have them on your phone.
Okay. All right,
You'd use
good.
name and password, basically.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But what we're looking for is
Brian could have access, and,
a level of access so that, the harbor master may just need the harbor,
right,
for instance.
yeah,
He wouldn't need necessarily parks.
Right.
Police officers ought to have access to all the cameras we have, for instance, so that sort of thing. But I think most of the better programs now are flexible enough to do all of that.
okay. All right, anything else, Robbie? Brian, you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Everything's good?
Very blessed again.
Yep.
Yes.
Jay, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
That's all I have.